Hi, everybody. It's Ray McNulty with the Learning 2030 Cohort 2 group. Excited to be with you. Another 5-minute podcast. This one might be 6 minutes. We'll see. But let's get started. In this podcast, I'm going to remind you about the innovation checklist that you could use to self-evaluate your system. And then I want to go over, and I'll do it in a rapid-fire way, but the 3 Horizons task, which we were looking at in Denver. We really did not have a lot of time to work with it, but I thought I'd walk you through it. And that way, if you chose, you could do it with your team. So the innovative checklist is here. And again, as I said in the last podcast, this is a way for you to judge how well your system is doing as you go through this. You can just do this on your own. You can circle the areas where you think your system is now and where you'd like to get. Obviously, we'd like to see everybody over in this last category eventually, but we know that that's going to take a long time. That is really connected a little bit to this second item on this podcast, which is the 3 Horizons task, which we talked about when we were in Denver. But this is something we didn't spend as deep amount of time as I would have liked to. So the 3 Horizons project kind of said the horizons are present in your world every single day. The first horizon is stewarding the core. This is your system as it is now. And if we keep you doing it the way we've been always doing it, it's going to go into a decline. There's a bunch of us visionaries out there that say this line, this green line out here, is the future. And that's the far reach. But there's this Horizon 2 line, which is the entrepreneurial line, where there are things going on that are causing us to think, wow, this will affect our system for the future. And these are the 3 horizons that you look at as you begin to think and be future focused. So the simple way in this slide is that this again is the current system, the dominant system that we have. This lower horizon 3 is the future. And that's kind of, as you see, as it says there, it's not very obvious at the moment, but we know that there's these visionary statements about what the future should be like. And then this second horizon, the one that we should be paying attention to now, impacts this first horizon. And these are the things that are going on. Maybe it's artificial intelligence, a virtual reality, or it might be a different way to think about teaching. These skills, you can take almost any list you'd like, but these are skills of the future. And what you want to do is have a list of skills of the future that you will look to say, this is what we need to be making sure happens in our system. And when you do that, then you can go into this 3 Horizons project, which is what you want to do here. As you can see, is what you want to do is what gives you cause and concern. That's in this part, your current system. What gives you cause and concern that your current system, operating as it is, will not provide your students with the experiences and opportunities they will need to thrive in the future. What that means is going back to this list and saying, where are we doing this? Are we doing this? Are we not? And then what you want to do is, in your group, you want to sit down, think about and share ideas and look and jot into this chart like 3 or 4 things that you're concerned about in your current system. Then you'd move to the visionary section. And so in light of the first horizon, what would be features or ideal things you'd like to see going on in your system in the future? And I'm talking 2030, 2035. Have the group get together, jot those ideas down and put them in this circle. Then you get into the inspirational practice section of this, which is there are people out there in the field now. There are existing in our country, there are schools, and schools outside of your district. They might be charters, they might be private, they might be other public schools. I can think of Wilder in Idaho, that they're doing really amazing things. And even though they're on a small scale, what are some of those things that you think should be in place? So with your group, share and combined ideas of these schools, these really fascinating schools that you see out there. Boy, wouldn't it be great if we had that happening in our system, if kids drove their own schedules, or whatever it is. This next piece is, this section here deals with what, in your view, are essential features of the business as usual, the current system, that you must keep in the future system. What are the things in this system, the current system that we're in, that we want to keep in the future? And jot those things down here. I mean, let's face it, we know that literacy is going to be a critical skill in the future in order for you to become a learner. Therefore, what are we doing in our system? Do we have really good things in place that really drive powerful literacy? We need to keep those things. We don't throw everything away. We need to bring things from the past with us to the future. And then what we need to do in the last piece is look at this chart. And what, in your view, what are some small changes and initiatives that over the next year you could incrementally move your system? And that's where you put it in here. These are things where we could start to implement things that we believe are small things that are out there in the future, but that we can begin to try for 15 months, 12 months, whatever it is, and see how they do in our system. So that's the kind of focus of this work when we talk about the Three Horizons system. It's a great activity to do with your team. When you're looking for ideas of what are things, those schools of the future that are out there now, if you're interested in reading some of that stuff, there were some articles that I sent you last week that have some good ideas about that. So that's it for our 5-minute podcast this week. Hopefully it's helpful to you. Please remember that if you need anything, please reach out to Deb Light or myself. If you'd like to have a conversation, a podcast with your team, let us know. Have a great day, and look forward to talking with you again soon.